All right, I am recording problem 16, number of atoms. This is for chemistry online mastery problems 2. It's involving density here and a conversion at the end. All right, so before I go through and do this, I believe everyone right now has the ability to first solve for the mass of this bar, okay, this lithium bar. What is this mass? Go ahead and solve. Pause the video and solve. Take 3 or 4 minutes and try to solve for it. All right, now that you've solved for it, I'm going to go through and we'll double check whether you got it right. We have 5.34 grams per cubic centimeter is our density, and density equals mass over volume. Cubic centimeters, sorry. And our mass, we don't know, but our volume is of a rectangular prism is length times width times height or thickness or whatever you want to call it. First, you make sure those are playing nice, and they are. And that's going to be 2 centimeters times 5 centimeters times 8 centimeters. That gives us 80 centimeters times centimeters times centimeters is cubic centimeters. Okay, now we're going to plug it in here. This is our variable. I'm going to change colors for that variable here. We'll just change it to red. Our variables are red. Okay, these are units. Those are units right there. So these things are units. So that's not a variable. So it's good to keep that in mind and keep tabs on that. Okay, so we're going to put this in for the volume, but we better double check that the units are playing nice. Well, this density is in grams per cubic centimeters. This is volumes in cubic centimeters. Wonderful, it is. Okay, and then when we multiply, so now how do we solve this? Where is the variable? The variable is in the top part of the fraction. It's this red m. Well, how do we solve for that? Well, what's being done to it? It's divided by 80 centimeters. Okay, 80 cubic centimeters. We're going to multiply. What we do to one side, our golden rule of algebra, we do to the other. Centimeters cancel, so you're left with m, our variable, equals this multiplied by that, and unless I've made a calculator error, 427.2, and we have units of grams because the centimeters cancel. Okay, so you should have gotten that. Now, they want atoms, and they give us a conversion factor. Well, what's our conversion factor here? Our conversion factor is 1 atom of lithium equals this many grams. It's very tiny, but you would expect that that's a 5 times 10 to the negative 23rd grams. So there's our conversion factor. So if we're converting, we always write what we start with. Let's choose a different color. Let's choose green. 427.2 grams. And we're going to put our conversion factor here. Maybe we'll go back to orange to make that work out. I don't know if you guys like the different colors, but okay. One on top of the other. Well, what are we trying to cancel out? The grams right down here. And put it down there, right there, grams. So this part needs to go on the bottom to cancel that. And you can't detach the number from the unit. 5 times 10 to the negative 23rd grams. And that's 1 atom. The rest of it goes on top. Right there, 1 atom goes on top. So now when we multiply top times top over bottom times bottom and then divide. So you're basically going to take 427.2 multiplied by 1 divide by 1.15 times 10 to the negative 23rd. This is from my previous video where you got to be careful when dividing by scientific notation. You better put this in parentheses, because if not, it will divide by this, not part of the scientific notation, then multiply by the times 10 to the negative 23rd, making the power very strange because it'll turn it to a positive. Okay, so when you've got to put this in parentheses and when you're dividing by scientific notation. So when we do this, we end up with 3.71 rounded to a 5 for me times 10 to the 25th atoms. And I think they want units of ATM. We'll have to check ATM for atoms. They either want no units for it or they want that for atoms. Actually, we'll just check here in a second. So you can input it like this here. Okay. When you input it like this here, you can do this, and there's a star, which is a shift 8, 10, shift 6 for the up caret, 25 ATM. You could also get away with this, probably E25 ATM. So I think any of these three, well, these two, which is how you input it, will work. So let's look real quick to see if we get it. And we'll go here. We'll go 3.715, and I'm doing shift 8, 10, shift 6, and that is 25. And we'll do ATMs for atoms, which I don't really like that as a unit for atoms because it's actually the abbreviation for units of atmospheres for pressure, which we'll actually get in second semester, but it is what it is. I can't change that, so let's check it out. Oh, only wants a number. Sorry, don't even put ATM on this. And there we go. So no unit on this. I apologize. You don't have to put a unit on that one. We got the yellow box of confusion, and we just fixed it. All right. Well, thank you for that. Oh, I guess you can't see the screen. Whoops. I forget about that sometimes. So we put, if I can move this. There we go. Sorry. You don't have to put units on this. It didn't want units of ATM. You just put it in without units. Sometimes they ask you to do that. So, all right. Well, thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, you will if you watch more of my videos, right?